Hi folks, my name's Darren and a very warm welcome back to the channel. Now what two things can you think of that just go together, that just work? I mean, you've got bread and butter, biscuits and gravy for my friends over in the USA, but for me the ultimate combination is bass and fuzz. Now I don't know what it is about the sound of bass and fuzz, it just works for me in most contexts, and I do use fuzz quite heavily. And over the last couple of months I've found some new fuzzes that I really like, and I've really enjoyed playing with, and they've always been the sort of fuzz that I can actually use in the live context, and stuff that I would use in the live context based on the sounds I've been getting out of them. My favourite so far has probably either been the Ripped Speaker or the Sovtek Big Muff Deluxe, both from Electro Harmonics. But today we're going to be looking at an original circuit design from Fender, and it is the PELT FUZZ. Now the PELT FUZZ itself is a silicon transistor driven circuit, but it has got some really cool features on it that make it usable for almost any scenario. The one feature for me that it does miss is that clean blend. That's just because I prefer a clean blend, but set up in the Helix I've actually got a clean blend which is switchable via the Helix control down here, which I will switch on and off for different demos. So this particular fuzz has got all the normal controls you would find on a fuzz in level, tone and fuzz, but it also has a little bit of special sauce within it. It's got a three-way mid switch in which you can either cut or boost mids depending on what position it is in. And it's also got a two-way thick switch which allows you to add more bass frequencies to the fuzz tone, so you get a nice thick fuzz. And it's also got the bloom control. And what the bloom control does is it adjusts the attack of the fuzz from soft to hard. So you can either get one of those nice, smooth fuzz tones with not an awful lot of drive in it, but it's still got some grit on it that you can hear quite prominently. Or you can go all the way up to have some nice fuzz madness, with a little bit of spat and a little bit of gate on there. And then pair that with the range on the fuzz control itself, you can get a great range of fuzz tones out of this. But before we go any further with the video, I just want to say a big thank you to Alan in Cadno Music Internationally for providing the PELT by Fender for me to be able to demo for you guys. All the Fender and Electro Harmonics pedals that I've checked out so far will be available on his Amazon link, which I will put down below. Also, if you like this video or any other video you have seen so far, please make sure you press that subscribe button to get notified when I do more videos. But more importantly, you need to press that like button, or just be cool as hell and press both. Also, feel free to tip me on my Buy Me a Coffee account where I can get a nice cup of coffee for all the work I do. Even though the last time I got a beer and I took a bit of time off because of my arm, but let's not talk about that. But now it's on to some tones from the PELT FUZZ by Fender. Okay, here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with everything on 12 o'clock as the done thing. But before that, just to let you know, my signal chain is basically my 2016 Fender Elite Jazz Bass 5. I'm actually going to play it on the neck pickup because I really dig the tone of that, but I will switch to both pickups at some point and let you know when I'm doing so. Then I'm going from the bass to the Shure GLX D16 wireless system, just because I don't know if you've seen I've got enough cables around here that I can't actually manage as it is, and straight into the Line 6 Helix rack using an Ampeg SVT4 Pro head and the 810 cab that is within the Line 6 Helix. Clean tone sounds a little bit like this. And remember, that is on the neck pickup. So what we're going to do is turn on the PELT, and on the neck pickup, here we go. So already off the bat, that's a really usable fuzz tone, but I think we can tweak it to get a little bit more out of it. So what I'm going to start off by doing is I'm going to drive the fuzz all the way up with the current settings just to see what we can get. Now the mid switch is all the way down, meaning there's a little bit of a scoop in there, and the thick switch is off, so there's no extra bass going through. So as you can hear now, we're really getting into that nice fuzzy territory with it all the way up. But what I'll do is I'll turn the mid switch on so we're not cutting any of the mids. And I'll also take the thick switch all the way up. So as you can hear there, the mids are back, and there's a fair amount of chunk in there in terms of the low end. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring the fuzz back up to about 12 o'clock, and I'm going to bring the bloom all the way down. So as you can hear there, with the bloom all the way down to the soft side, there isn't an awful lot of attack in there, but you can still hear some of that really, really, really nice fuzzy grit. Okay, next what we're going to do is we're going to keep the fuzz around about 12 o'clock where it is, but we're going to turn the bloom all the way up. Again, keeping the mid control in the middle, so we're not scooping, we're not boosting, but I've kept the thick up. So yeah, now it's really starting to come to life with that bloom all the way up. So here's what else I'm going to do. I'm going to take the tone up a little bit, and I'm actually going to put the mids all the way up. And we see what we can get out of that. Oof. Okay, that's nice and thick. I'm going to take the bloom down a bit. I'm going to turn the thick off. Keep the tone where it is. Bring the fuzz up a little bit. And I'm actually going to change to both pickups now and see what we can get out of that. It is also worth mentioning I am in passive mode, not active. I'm going through the passive circuit. No, that is gnarly. That's a really good fuzz tone. Let's jump on with a pick. Now then, that is a fuzz tone right there. That's really, really gnarly. Let me take the bloom up a bit more, keep the mids all the way up, turn the thick all the way up, and I'm going to bring the fuzz up to about 3 o'clock there. Bring the tone back down to about there. Now, as you can hear, it's starting to get that really, really fuzzy, spattery, gatey sort of tone out of it. So again, that is really, really thick. So I'll take the fuzz down a bit. I'll pull the thick off, bring the tone up a little bit, and go back to the bridge pickup. That's good. Nice. That is really, really gnarly. I'm going to put it back to both pickups now. And I am going to bring the bloom down just a bit. Fuzz up more. Bring the tone down. Straighten up the pedal because it keeps moving. See what we can get. Actually, there's one thing we haven't done yet with any of these settings. I haven't put the clean blend on. Doesn't sound like we'll need a thick switch for this. That is nasty. I am going to go full whack and spatter, I think, with the clean blend in there. Bring the tone up a bit. And do you know what? Just for the hell of it, I'm going to pull the mids to the middle so that there's nothing being pushed and turn the thick on. Let's see what madness we can get out of this one. Now, as you can hear there, it's starting to get really thick but still spattery. And let me see what we can do with a pick now. That is one insane fuzz pedal. That's a really, really, really good fuzz. I mean, it's different, especially to the Electro-Harmonix fuzzes that I'm so used to, that I've used for so long. Doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Could I find space for it in the rig if I wanted to? 100% yes. And here's why. I'm a massive, massive fan of having multiple tones available to myself at any one time, whether it be for a certain song or depending how I feel. And that's one of the reasons that I got the Line 6 Helix, is because I can have multiple pedal boards, multiple tones, all at my disposal at any one time. I can have a pedal board full of 5 fuzzes, 2 overdrives, a delay and a partridge in a pear tree if I really, really wanted to. But I have been contemplating going back to a normal pedal board and just having like maybe 5 or 6 key components for like a grab and go sort of thing. But consider I don't own a bass amp right now, I'm kind of shying away from that a little bit. But I'm seriously contemplating it. Why is that relevant? Well, in my Helix bass rig, in one of my live presets, I've got 2 fuzzes on there. And I just like to have different flavours for different things. I've also got an overdrive, so they've got 3 bits of dirt on there. I wouldn't mind having something like the Electro-Harmonix ripped speaker on there, just for that slightly more spattery, sort of cutting fuzz tone. But where this one would come in, this is something I'd use for that really, really thick, but maybe smoother sort of fuzz. That would pair brilliantly with a clean blend, as just demonstrated. Now, the PELT by Fender does have elements of something like the Electro-Harmonix ripped speaker, or maybe vice versa because PELT came out first. It's got elements of the Deluxe Big Muff or Sovtech Big Muff, but it's still its own thing. And as I say, it is a Fender original circuit, but it is a really, really cool fuzz pedal. Other features of this pedal, the same as the rest of the Fender pedal range, include the ability to turn the lights on and off, like so, and the ever-handy flip-down battery compartment. But to answer the question that I'm always asking on the bass side of this channel, does it bass? Yeah, definitely does bass. Like I said, the one thing I am missing, which I do like in most bass pedals, is that clean blend on them. I think if the clean blend was on here, I'd probably give it a 9. As it stands, it's probably going to get about a 7.5 from myself. I don't know why I'm giving points ratings. I've never done it before, but maybe I should start. But if you are in the market for a bass fuzz and you want something that I would say is a little bit different, then the PELT by Fender is probably going to be right up your street. Anyway guys, thanks very much if you've stuck around. Another massive thank you to Alan in Cadno Music for providing the pedal. And you can go and show him some love by clicking on the Amazon link down below and purchasing one of the Fender pedals, including the PELT. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you click that subscribe button, the bell icon to get notified when I do more videos, as well as that like button, which is incredibly important. And as I said earlier, feel free to give me a tip on my Buy Me a Coffee account, just so I can have a nice coffee after I finish recording this video. Because this is the second time I've had to record it. A couple of days ago, I spent about an hour recording, done a couple of demos, and Muggins by here forgot to press the record button over there. Yeah. I mean, I recorded all the audio just fine. But the video itself, yeah, I nearly threw myself out a window. But instead, I just made myself a cuppa, sat down, calmed down a little bit, turned my PlayStation on, and waited 45 minutes for things to update. So I just went to bed instead. Stay tuned for the next video where I'm going to be going over my somewhat top secret super mega Helix rig that I've already posted in some of the Line 6 Helix groups. But it's not quite finished yet. Needs a few finishing touches. But believe me, this is going to be the sort of rig, as cliche as it sounds, there is nothing that you won't be able to do with this. And I'm really excited to show you what I've done. So until next time guys, thanks very much. I've been Darren, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!